take my spot. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming here and invite me as well. I am Jimmy Descant. I'm a severe reconstructivist. You won't find that term in the art books. And my style is what I call Western futurism. I started by making vintage vacuum cleaner rocket ships into sculptures, Buck Rogers sculptures in 1996. And totally self-taught. So, and I have plenty of awards, museum pieces, commissions down the road. I've been in Tucson now for 4 years. I grew up in New Orleans. I lived in Colorado a dozen years, and that was enough snow. And so now in the heat of the desert, and I'm here to make your community happy and thrilled with a large-scale piece of art. I was chosen by the Arts Foundation as the designated artist for the Martha Cooper Library expansion, which is going on right now. And timeline is to be determined, but we went through a process and came up with a design and a style that would fit and represent the Garden District and Tucson, as well as my talents. So my website is deluxewest.com, but there's a QR code up here, and there's a sign up for emails if you want to get in on that. There's some stickers for your lunchbox if you want, with my website on it, and some examples. So the design of this piece, if you can imagine, you see this poster here. This is, even though I was good at drawing when I was a kid, this is my least talent, is drawing and painting. Taking found objects and turning them into something totally different is what I do. I don't really manufacture any of my parts, pieces. It's how I take it, and like Marcel Duchamp would take something and turn it 90 degrees, and it becomes something completely different. So how I put it together and how I make a statement is my talent. And I hope you appreciate it when I'm done. Because even though this is the model of what I'll be building, and the working title is the Cooper Crested Cooper. Now this is a take on Martha Cooper, and something. I used to live over on Swan and Broadway, and I saw a lot of Cooper Hawks, and so I'm going to take that Cooper Hawk and meld it into sustainability, people, animals, walkability, community aspects, into a hawk with an extended wing with the flora and fauna connected to a crested saguaro. Now, I didn't know about crested saguaro. And I didn't know about crested saguaros when I first came here. And in 4 years, me and my wife and other people have found about 75 out of the 2,500 that are documented through the Sonoran Desert. And this is a passion of mine. I can smell them out, I can see them in distances, and the saguaros are the guardians of the desert. The crested saguaros are the kings and queens. And so I want to connect the flora, fauna, and the community in this way, that this hawk will have one wing down, touching the earth, and one wing extended to go behind and support the saguaro, which we all have a lifespan, but for this sculpture, hopefully it lasts hundreds of years, like a saguaro, and it'll be the hawk and the saguaro. The hawk will be 4 feet wide at the base. The saguaro will be 4 feet wide at the top and the base, and the whole piece will be about 12 feet long, 12 to 14 feet long. It'll be 2 panels, aluminum diamond plate panels in the front and then in the back, like this. It won't be decorated in the back. There will be shadows of the outlines of what it is, but the front will be flat and then interconnected with about a foot of space or less in between for stability when it's standing up. So this is basically what I'm going off of. But the whole final look of it and size and actual final shape will be determined by the pieces parts that I find and get donated by you in the community. What I'm looking for in the adornment of something like this is to tell a story of kids, animals, connectivity, using bicycle parts for transportation and walkability of every aspect of the community that is going on, and using the parts. Mostly I use parts from the golden age of American manufacturing, 20s to the 60s, when things were built to last forever. And a lot of my art has these pieces that have been around for 100 years and were made with detail and design. So I'm not looking for plastic McDonald land toys or things from Walmart that are instantly, like the term planned obsolescence, that term is obsolete because so much of what culture produces these days is instantly obsolete. So you can't even say it's planned obsolescence, it's just thrown away. So the pieces that I scrounge from flea markets, garage sales, and trash night, and brush and bulky, is I'm looking for the strength and the artisans who worked at the drafts table and then into the factory, who never got to sign their work. So I take it, make it live, so my artisan homage to them when I'm telling a bigger story. So this is kind of the model that we're going off of. It's gonna look like this. And then when you come up here, after I'm finished talking, you can see what I'm looking at, and then I'm gonna turn this around, and here's some examples, of other big projects that I've done. I'll let you look at that up close. But since you're so far away right now, we're gonna start with what I was trying to do with the Arts Foundation and the members of the committee was to get the community involved and donate pieces, parts that you think might work with this storyline and this sculpture that you could actually give to me, and then I can include it in this sculpture in a way that when it's done and you come with your grandkids or your parents and tell a story and say, that was my grandfather's watch from World War II. That these parts, these bits of the whole will live as the whole. And you can always come by and say, visit it, and it's yours. And then see how it actually might decay over decades, or patina. It's gonna be outdoors in these elements. And I've done sculptures like this that were totally chromed and powder coated and sandblasted. And then I've had other ones that are meant to deteriorate over years. But with this one, we want to make it as long as possible. So I brought some examples of what not to bring and what you can bring. So here's some basic tools. I love screwdrivers. I like making crests and all kinds of stuff out of screwdrivers. Wood-handled screwdrivers or tools are not gonna last. That's gonna disintegrate over time. Metal, chrome, things like this, I drill through, they are drillable, and put this up, and it can be a bird's beak, it can be all this stuff. The metal on this, I don't mind that rusting. Something like that that's chrome, that's okay. But something like wood, that's not gonna work for this project. Things like a little baseball bat, or this horse head, it's particle board underneath. That's not gonna work. It's light duty, and it's eventually just gonna disintegrate. Now, have things like this, car parts. Car parts are great. Chrome car parts, trim, hood ornaments, things like that. But this is glass. This is a signal lamp off a 1940s car. I will take that glass out and not use that. We're not gonna have something that's totally dangerous for kids. This sculpture will be on a concrete base and have local fauna, cactus, succulents all around it, and not meant to be visited right up nose to the art. It will have a border around it with plants, but you'll be able to see and pick it out and People have used binoculars in the past too, to get that real close up, because I'll have small bits and pieces as well. Like hose nozzle, which is brass, that's perfect. That can go here, that can go like this. Old buttons like this last forever as well. Now big buttons, everything can turn into something else and help me tell a whole story out of all the small stories. Old trophies, you know, are good, metal, not plastic. And then trophy bits and pieces, like this is the front of a trophy, and it's aluminum. And I love the little trim. One time at an old high school where I used to live, they were building a new high school. They got rid of all their trophies from 50 years. I showed up, it was hundreds and hundreds of pounds of beautiful stuff that I took all apart and then used in my art. Things like this, car side view mirror from the 60s, that's good. Remove the mirror. No chance of something getting broken. Flashlight like this is good. It's thin. One of the things that you can do is take a magnet. If you have a magnet and see if it's metal or if it sticks, it's aluminum or chrome, that's good. You know, if it's metal, you know that eventually it's gonna rust. Then, like this, yes, no. This is an aluminum horseshoe I got at the flea market, and that's good. You can drill this and attach that and make it into something else. Old steel horseshoes, no, because it's going to turn into that, and eventually, like I said, it's going to totally destroy. And then cooking pots that are aluminum. Again, take your magnet, see if it works. This old vacuum cleaner attachment, like that. Let's see, plastic, no, doesn't work. Wood, this is a little burnishing drill tool. It's fiber. That's not going to work. So think about it as, you know, what's in your backyard, or around your house. You know, it's like, is that going to work? No, the background's not going to work. But if I pull that metal off of there, that will rust, but it will be a cool scene, like a little mountain, like something else. So this is, let's see, copper, something that's copper would be good, and keys are good as well. I've used pieces that had 1,000 keys on them, and just put them on brass, chrome, that's fine, like that. So I use a lot of these too. Everybody know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Well, where's the rest?
It's an iron.
There you go.
It's an antique.
Iron bottoms, steam iron bottoms, because they have the patterns. And for this project, these irons that I've used hundreds of them in the past as all kinds of things. This will be the bird's feathers on the wing, and also the bird's feathers touching the ground here, and then also underneath the saguaro as the plant life to create a bigger base on. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, and with the help of the foundation and Kevin and the committee, we want to promote an event sometime in March, like a Saturday, where I'll come to a parking lot here or a different venue where we can get the word out and have like a trunk show. People will bring stuff and show me what they got, and then I'll go through and say yes, no, and then gather it up. So, and then take it to my shop, and then that'll be the process of the next part, which is I lay out sheets of plywood on the ground and I work gravity fed. Then I'm up and down the ladder, and then I'll lay out the design, how I like it, you know, and just move everything without making it permanent. And then once I get it set the way I like it, then I stand it up and then bolt everything together and make it super strong and safe for kids and adults alike, just in case somebody actually walks up to it and wants to touch it. Because a lot of my work You'll see with this example, this was, I built a piece of art for my wife for every anniversary for our first 20 years together. And this was one, and it's all my best pieces and stuff, but you'll see that it's very tactile. You want to see that it's real, what it feels like, what's the weight on that. And this is what we're heading for with the Martha Cooper Library opening, that you're gonna go in this venue and be astounded at the architecture, what the possibilities of learning and community are, and then go out to the atrium and be drawn out by this piece. It will be an attraction factor that people will want to look at, want to see, will not be walking by as some simple abstract that you instantly forget down the road. This will be something that people will want to show their friends, relatives, and hopefully, you know, it's up to you whether you're proud of this and you know, whether you like my work. So that's my ideas, and see, I think I touched on everything except for, you know, big stuff is good too, because this is going to be a big sculpture. So these are bumper ends from the 50s and things like that. I know I say things like that a lot. This is good. This tray is beautiful. It's decorative, but that's not gonna last. And the elements, even now something like this, that's good, but not. It's good for some of my rough stuff, but that's not a good steering wheel example. But if you come up with a boat steering wheel that has been in the elements, that'll be good. Metal, that's what it turned into. It's heavy, it's big, but think on that, and then tell your friends, and think about how you want to be in this sculpture with me, and with the community, and with the library. So that's my ideas. And thank you for listening. Lois, you had a question?
Yeah.
Thank you.
How long is it going to take you to construct it once you have the materials?
It's it varies.
Okay, 6 months, 9 months?
Depends. The actual building and actually doing the completion of this work, I give it 2-3 months. But it depends on other factors, like when the construction is going to be done. I want to time it in a way that it has to be done for the opening.
And so are you going to be able to put progress pictures on your website?
No, I won't be doing that. Because as I work, like I said, this is what I pitched the Arts Foundation for, this idea and this general look. But as I work, it changes. What gets eliminated, what gets included, an extra little shape to actually form that crested saguaro. So if I put progress pictures, then people get that idea is going to be this, and then might get disappointed when it's something else. So you won't really see it until it's installed, and it'll only take a day to install.
I have a suggestion for your collecting day. We have a plant swap giveaway that will happen in March.
Mm-hmm.
And like last time, how many people we had? That like 50, 60 people come?
So now we had 100.
I mean,
Okay.
so it's on a Saturday morning. It's in the playground here. It might be nice to tie the two together. We haven't set a date for March yet, but what I can do is get in touch. There's a couple that we only do the plant swap when Linda and Mort can come.
Okay.
So I'm gonna talk to Linda and Mort, get a date, and then
Okay.
we could contact you and see if that works for you, and that might be
Okay.
a good way to start your day off with a lot of traffic in the
Sure.
parking lot coming and going. And
I am
Go from there.
open to all community suggestions. Only weekend I can't do March 18th, which is the Sculpture Tucson show at Brandy Fenton Park, which I do every year. But any other Saturday or Sunday, I kind of, we're coordinating that with other members of the committee who are like Lisa and Kevin, who are part of all of this. So I'm in a way the exotic pet, in a way, but I'm open to all all your suggestions, and how we can make this very successful. Anybody else have? Yes, Carol?
What is the size? What will the finished size be?
The size, if you can imagine, this piece is gonna be 8 feet tall, so the panels that I work with are aluminum diamond plate. You know, that kind of textured, floored, diamond plate. It's got ideas, so that is what the outside is, and those come in 4x8 sheets, varying thicknesses. So it will be 8 feet tall and then possibly 12 feet wide. This will be 8 feet here. This is the base here will be 4 feet, 4 feet. This will be 4 feet, and then this wing will be 8 feet, but coming from the body and connecting here. So 8 feet by 12 feet or 14 feet at the most. And then only about a foot thick. So from the side, it's gonna look like this, and the panels bolt together, and there's footing, like L brackets on the bottom. And the reason I do 2 sides like this is the stability. If it was just one solid panel, it'd have to be very thick on its own and be super strong.
So it's double-sided?
Yes, it's gonna be double-sided, one side super decorated, the other side with shadowing of what's in the front, you know, for stability. But something you can walk around and see the whole thing. Any other questions?
Sounds good.
Okay, well,
It's exciting.
Well,
Yes,
thanks
Liz?
very much.
well, thank you much for having me. Like I said, some card scenes we want to sign up for you now, but you know, connected through your group, you know, and I'll see you again soon.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you much. All right. Thank you, ladies.
Did you want to say